así hemos llegado al día de hoy en el que hemos concluido.
If everything goes as planned, on the 9th of September, we will have an audience with the Pope, and we wish, as it happened in the last chapter, he may add some new style to our general chapter. So I can say that this is our roadmap for the chapter, and so we are now in the intersection between the stage of evaluating and the stage of dreaming. After sharing what we've done up to now, what we have been experiencing, we have been sharing it, uploading it online in our website, in other social medias, so that all the members of the Claretian family could also be part of this chapter process. You asked us to share very briefly the Claretian family is a realization of a dream, Claret's dream, a great movement for the evangelization of the world. At the end of the general chapter of 1979, a day of the Claretian family was celebrated in which 7 members of the 8 branches were present, and the decision was taken to have this meeting of the Claretian family every 4 years in order to deepen on the shared charism and to come to agreement of actions of the Claretian family so as to evangelize better. So from that year up to this moment, we have had 9 encounters and meetings. And the last one was in Nuremberg, in Germany. It is important to underline that there have been many changes. It was requested that there be a coordinating team of the Claretian family, and that we find a way of constructing together a plan of action. So it was not only sufficient to meet every 4 years, all the branches of the Claretian family, but to find a way of working together. For example, we have been working together on the traits and characteristics of the Claretian families. We also prepared materials together to celebrate the feast of St. Anthony Mary Claret. We also made efforts to meet together, sometimes online. In these last years, we've tried to visit all the branches of the Claretian family. Especially, we had in an encounter in Malabo, we had meeting in Brazil. We visited the General Courier of the missionaries of Code Marian. It was also requested that we set up a website, a common website. In the next meeting is planned to take place in Rome here. We had wanted to do it in Brazil, but has been changed to Rome. In this sense, we are working together, preparing this encounter. Some of the pictures of the last encounters we could see there online on the screen. The, the meetings we had in Madrid and sometimes meetings online. The, we have this common website of the Claretian family, and the website is in English and Spanish. We here we on the page we share our common mission. Another request was that we could grow together in questions of JPIC, and we have been working in that sense. Taking advantage of opportunities that International Days offers. In order to celebrate together and to mate. There has been a long journey we recognize that it's good to work together and it's good to belong to this family. And so we had different encounters. Because of the COVID, the chapter that was planned to have in Malabo we no longer hold. We decided to have it online. We have also common initiatives of the Claretian family with regards to the defense of life. In January of 2018, together we gave answers to some natural disasters. Yes, we are working together in questions of solidarity and mission. And you have there on the screen the members of the team of the Claretian family on solidarity and mission, which is an attempt to give a response to natural disasters as a Claretian family. So we have this first fund that was raised as a Claretian family for emergencies and as natural disasters. We are very grateful for the generosity and the common work we've been doing together. And it is beautiful when the different branches of the Claretian family work together. One of our brothers, Tamargo, was a counselor, advisor to the late Claretian movement, and he participated in many meetings, sometimes face-to-face meeting, but also he participated on some of the online meetings. And some other areas of the Claretian family formation area, spirituality, we've been working together also. There were spiritual exercises online, different formation workshops. The new prefecture of youth and vocation ministry, there were some work in common. Together, there was a first meeting in order to prepare a course that was to be offered to all the Claretian family. You have the image of the meeting of the tutors of that online course. Which is an attempt to continue to accompany our young people who want to follow Christ from our charism. There was again an encounter that we held in Rome, which was a good idea of the different branches of the Claretian family. So you could see on the screen the different faces of our brothers and sisters who are in charge of our vocation ministry in the different branches of the Claretian family. There was also the World Youth Day in Rome, in Madrid, in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, or in Warsaw in Poland, or in Panama. It was a good meeting and encounter of the different families of the branches of the Claretian family. And together we're already preparing for the next World Youth Day in Lisbon. And with the province of Fatima, they're already preparing so that in 2023 they would welcome our youth in Lisbon. It is good to see our people animated to work together in favor of our young people, of the youth, missionaries. And this last initiative of the Madagascar Mission, which arose in the context of the 150th anniversary of the death of Claretian. So we have come together to see how we could give response to the needs of that part of Madagascar as a Claretian family. We know that our general governments of the different Claretian families meet together 2 times a year, and that helps us to share together what we're doing and to dialogue and to learn from what we're doing and to share our experiences together. Our discernment workshop that we heard on appreciative inquiry helped us to design a project together as a Claretian family. We've had these encounters in different areas in Amazonia. Which we had a survey and which was presented to the different governments of the Claretian family in order to discern where God is inviting us to. And principally in Madagascar, we did not have any Claretian presence. We decided to have our presence in Madagascar. We also had meeting with some of the bishops, a bishop from Amazonia. We met the bishop where we're going to work in Madagascar during his visit here in Rome. And once we decided and opted for Madagascar, we informed him. And we're in this phase of preparation so that when it becomes possible, when the pandemic allows us, we would go to Madagascar. As we know, we have the Claretian family is welcome to unite with us in this new initiative. So that all the members of the Claretian family are welcome to the initiative we're having in Madagascar, because shared mission is a good thing. So having shared with you the principal activities we've had together, just to say that there is when we share together, we have more life in the Claretian family. Um, Yesterday, during the conferences we had, you know, and one of the presentations we had yesterday was as part of the good practices we have is the idea of evangelization online of the different young people of the Claretian family. So we have very good initiatives also in some other continents. And we have God will help us to continue in this path and to grow together as a Claretian family. When I was invited to participate in this encounter, we had the intention to listen to one another. It is also the desire of the chapter members to listen to what you want to tell us in this important moment of our discernment. So we have invited you to offer us a feedback in two ways or in two senses. How can we continue to strengthen the communion mission and vision of the Claretian family? The second question would be, what do we need to pay attention, more particular attention to in our life as missionary, as Claretian missionaries? So those are the two questions that are now in your hands. So we're going to listen to you to paying attention to what you have to tell us. It's an important moment for Claretian family. And we think it's an important moment for us in our discernment in this chapter. So I would ask, would want ask that we're able to see some of the leaders of the different branches of the Claretian family. So we ask Maria de Mars, which is the general director of the Institute of Filiación Cordilleriana. So these are the different representatives of the different branches of the Claretian family. With Jolanda. So we have also invited the lay Claretian movement, and the Secretary General is Miguel Angel Sosa, who's there online. So we will now listen to her. So we're grateful. I don't think they want us to translate what I'm saying.
Monsignor Bergoglio. Now, Pope Francis, in the first place, that the Claretian family may be strengthened, we have to memory, and we do this by calling to our heart the history of our link as a family, starting from our relationship with one another and the great events of the daily life. This small gesture, this condenses our, in fact, we are all invited to have the revolution of tenderness, just like what Pope Francis said in his documents. Tenderness calls us for a gentle look and and to rooted to root ourselves in the promise, uh, welcoming the complexities of our realities, personal and institutional, and social in all countries where there is the Claretian mission. A more extensive look that tells us where we are and where we are going. A constructive look that looks at the horizon and that searches the reign of God in order to walk together, that calls us to widen our hearts in our history, in our reality, and in our commitment. For this, we think that the key will be in the four keys that given to us by time, reality, and unity. These four coordinates will help us to look at the reality of a Claretian family in our own reality before the complex global crisis. I think it is necessary to have a realistic reflection about the link and relationship that we have for each other, relationships that binds us in our charism, in our history, in our spirituality, own opportunity to address the challenges of our life. We are constituted as a family, an evangelical family, poor, obedient, fraternal, and just, compassionate, and in solidarity with them. With regard to the second answer, rooted and audacious in the work of Father Vinyas, we say that our institute must amplify the Claretian family, rootedness, and with martyrs and our history, with the material blood of our martyrs. And this has been recognized by Father Claret when he wrote from his exile. We give thanks to God, to his mother, for the gift of martyrdom. And I wanted to be a martyr of the congregation, but I was not worthy. Give thanks to the whole congregation. This letter of Saint Anthony Mary Clare, as he has said in the Revolution, that it would be in the congregation a gift that will help us to grow and bear fruit to all people. Our congregation in Spain has been purified by the blood of the great revelations of a lot of martyrs. Also in Africa, Asia, and in America, you have suffered persecution, oppression, and the silent death of lives given for people before conditions that are limiting our life. With this, we present the roots of our memory. We are also invited to be audacious, just like what Father Vinyas invited us. Jesus promised us to the Holy Spirit, the witnesses, that we may be able to fulfill this mission impossible for the whole humanity. Jesus is our model and is present in the heart of Claret, especially in the attempt of assassination in Holguin, Cuba. The grace of the Father as a founder has been transmitted to us through his sons. And we add, and in this memory of living uh, and becoming audacious for the future, as like what the Pope Francis said, the courage to face the future is also the expression of a cardinal because a congregation with courage and will be able to face all the challenges that the world will offer that we see. Being audacious allows us to face the problems of the world, and this will condition the way we envision the world. We are all called to gather all the witnesses, the testimonies of the witnesses of our martyrs, and to work heroically, to pray heroically, and to suffer heroically. Thank you, Maria Del Mar, for the message, and I have been taking down notes of your reaction. We want the other capitulars in the chat that we have. We can we can also take their notes and give us their feedback. We will have to listen to the testimonies from the different branches of the Claretian family, and that we will be able to listen to each other. We now pass the word to Yolanda, the Superior General of the Religions of Mary Immaculate, and listen to what she wants to say to us. Good afternoon. First and above all, I am grateful for God and for the brothers for the path that we have taken during these years, a path that is very cordial, evangelical, and that path that strengthens us as a family. And we have prepared after the questions raised, and therefore I Christina, who will share with us that what we have prepared. So, on the first question, how do we strengthen our mission and vision together as a Claretian? We, the Claretian missionaries, we feel and we think that it's necessary to continue working so that we may be able to affirm that the path is really a synodal path and giving value to family and being near to each other. We feel to continue deepening the features of Floritian family and at the same time recognize the features proper to each other. We also suggest to continue in knowing each other and recognizing the foundresses of different branches of the Claretian family as an integral part that will enrich our life as a family. These knowledge can be can be given for all at all levels, provincial and or each organisms, both in initial and ongoing formation. I think it's also important to advance together in the reading of the charism incarnated in the reality of today. We think that it is important to promote symposiums, studies from the reality that calls for Claretian answers, and in that way, we can ask ourselves what is the sign of claret that could be common for all Claretian family. And of course, we give importance to continue the projects that we have started practicing synodality at the level of youth ministry, at the level of GPIC, education, SOS, and solidarity, and also the exchange as general government, making it a reality in working and in walking together, producing materials for reflection, just like programs, spiritual exercises, and other things. On the second question, I have to give due attention to the Claretian missionary according to our vision. We think it is important to continue opening the hearts and mind in the places where we are, in the reality where we are in, and to attend to the working of the Spirit. And from there, we give the service of evangelization, promotion, especially to those who are least, those who are in the fringes, the women, as good missioners, where we go to places where others would dare not go. It is also important to continue giving testimonies of communion in our own communities and also as a family, and also in the pastoral field as a church, knowing how to share with one another, avoiding avoiding being masochist, and to continue promoting the work with each other, connected and realizing our interconnectedness from our mission and elaborating the mission that will enrich all of us and continue improving our solidarity in Cuba, where we can give a for mutual formation and from there to give at the service of others the gifts of each one. It's also important for us and urgent to continue working in the ministry of the word, the word that gives life and fire that lives in the heart of each Clarissa, so that it will not be merely a transmission of knowledge, but a transmission of life. And of course, we have to continue the work of formation, both in the institutes of consecrated life as well as in other places of theology, opening our efforts, especially in Africa. And at the end, we want also to propose that maybe we can work even more to give and to combat the forces of evil in many places, especially forming consciousness and to grow in a social friendship, just like what Pope Francis said, and our political responsibility to Christians, that that corruption will not uh, undermine our efforts in the church. At the end, we want to create a helping hand for the poor, attend to their needs, their formation, and that they may be able to appreciate their role in society to create spaces of dialogue, political dialogue that goes beyond mere teaching, taking into account the various modalities in the universities and in the schools. We can improve. We can be better in these fields, also in politics, and to be at the grassroots, to be present to give a social transformation from the grassroots. These are our challenges. Thank you to the religious of Mary Immaculate, to Yolanda, Priscilla, and for and also Christina and Leah for their wise words. Now we have to simulate in our hearts, and we will have to share it later on. Thank you very much. Now we pass the word to Miguel Sosa, Secretary General of Lake Claretians, who is now in. Greetings, Miguel, and welcome. I am in Canary Island. I would like to greet all the capitulars, dear brothers, whom I had a great honor to know you and to enjoy your friendship. I would like also to take advantage of this occasion to thank the Claretian missionaries for the accompaniment, the constant accompaniment that, and the support and the service that you have given us in our group and also the accompaniment of our communities. And I have been telling to Father Arthur and Father Manolo, real brother, and for all the advices and and the privilege of having been accompanied and for their advices and counsel. I also thank the general government for the spirit of collaboration and accompaniment and the path that we have taken together and the constant generosity and patience that we have shown is we always find a positive and favorable response from all of you. To the first question, I think what we coincide, the Claretian family is a privilege. It's a gift to enjoy the charismatic gift that we have received in the church that not all in the church may be able to enjoy. It was the dream of Claret, and here in the path of dreaming where the congregation finds herself, will dream in key, in family key. And all the gifts that we receive from the Lord, I always want the gift is always given to us, not just for us to enjoy it, but also that we are the guardians of that gift and we put this gift to bear fruit through various talents and to multiply the gifts that we have received. And for this to happen, we have to continue dreaming, to dream that we will be able to respond to the challenges and infect the world of the dreams of goodness for the whole congregation. The key is in the relationship that we have with each other. We have to contribute and to put into reality the leadership that will give solutions to our problems and that will mend the relationships that we have to be concerned with each other. This kind of family, we want a family that is bound by good relationships, and this cuts across all the branches of Claretian family, and to increase our communion and fraternity in a sense of community and sense of family. Therefore, I think the key in order to persevere in this mutual approach and that we have been receiving fruits already, and we thank for this general government and their efforts to continue knowing and recognizing, and like we coincide with what has been previously expressed, to know each other and to grow and deepen our knowledge about each other and also in our own limitations and to understand the realities of each branch, to value and accept each other mutually and to be to believe and to grow together. I think this is the key in order to establish this healthy relationship that will nourish good relationship and transcend prejudices and realities that may not correspond to that sense of family as a human family. And for this, I think as an objective, we must also preserve and think to construct a family that concern with the needs and concerns of others. We have to take into account to dedicate moments for the family. This happens also in a normal human family. We have to be careful to space and time to come together, to celebrate together, and to share experiences and expectations, so that it will lead to a greater understanding of each other, avoiding suspicions, and we can work together, not just at the level of the general government, but and Arthur has already summarized many of the initiatives we have to work, that this spirit must be also grounded in the local level, and we can think well of the recipients of our reality, of our own distinct culture. We have to work at all levels. It will be impossible if we just look in a fragmented way. And in order to do this, we have to increase such intimacy and growth in relationship. Our fundamental objective to strengthen our communion and to better our relationship so that we will be rooted collectively. I think in the second answer, I think I would put forward three things for the congregation to pay attention. And this, I think, concerns not just the congregation, but for all the branches of Claretian family. Pandemic has made us realize to take care not just our environment, but also to manifest our reality, the phenomenon that has been our concern for many years. The first, one of the challenges is to be seeds of hope in a world that is growing even more desperate, and we want the world to rediscover God so that will search God and will have an opportunity to have a space and time to search for God. And in this sense, I think this is our priority to multiply evangelizers. This is what Father Claret thought when during his time to multiply evangelizers, to make promotion, vocational promotion, people to have that sensibility to serve and to be part of our family that will transmit the gospel to others. we have to reflect on this action. It will not just be to denounce what is sinful, but to denounce injustice, but also have to do this from the perspective of goodness. And we have to denounce that will be constructive, not to condemn, but to build bridge of compassion and forgiveness for those who have sinned. I think this is a theme that we should reflect more because at times to denounce is also to cover up our own responsibility and not taking decision, not just at the level of person, but not to be part of such injustice. I thank all of you and the participants. I'm so sorry for having said more. Brevity is not one of my gifts. I thank you all, and in the name of the late Claretians, I give you my warm embrace. Thank you for that reflections and greetings also to all of you late Claretians in the world. And in the social media, there have been feedback and we are reading, especially the missionaries who gathered in this capitular hall have read these comments. If you can also send us send us to our email, and we share also happy birthday to a capitular one. Happy birthday, Juan Carlos, and we will continue. I pass the word to the missionaries of St. Anthony Mary Claret, the Superior General Mother Dulcinea Rivero de Almeida, Superior General of the Missionaries of St. Anthony Mary Claret. We thank you for your time and mm, and can share. Welcome, Sister Dulcina. I thank you all for this opportunity to participate as a member of this family. And from here, I cannot. She is speaking in Portuguese. I cannot translate it. So I cannot translate it. Huh? Do you understand?
une. Os seminários organizados conjuntamente ou por uma rama e aberta à participação de outras ramas, em persona ou online, em linha. Isto, decimos, em relação à missão fraterna. Esta missão compartida com respeito à missão, continuar, dar continuidade a alguma ação conjunta em situações específicas, com os grupos presentes em um mesmo contexto, abrindo espaços de participação para outras ramas, segundo suas possibilidades concretas. Muitas vezes nos gostaria participar, nem sempre podemos fazê-lo, mas que, quando é possível, é muito encantado. Outro ponto deste item da missão compartida, em el que se poderia pensar, são as novas fundações em projetos compartidos, é decir, intercongregacionais como família claretiana. Isso seria excelente, pero deveria ver-se com as ramas que estejam dispostas e possam participar. Necessita ser reflejado em comum. Também, um aspecto que subrayamos e que se pode continuar em la missão é a solidariedade missioneira, continuar com os projetos SOS Família Claretiana, que são muito positivos e expressões de comunhão, por isso merecem ser apoiados por todas as ramas que puedan hacer. Agradecemos e consideramos muito positivo o curso de formação da PJV, Pastoral Juvenil Vocacional, em comunhão com todas as ramas da família, através dos meios de comunicação. É muito bueno e merece ser apoiado e fortalecido. Passando também quanto à visão de família, a visão conjunta de família claretiana, nós dizemos que é importante considerar o critério de unidade em la diversidade. Unidade e o carisma missioneiro de Claré e outros rasgos comuns da família, e diversidade em la atenção às peculiaridades de cada instituto com seu próprio carisma. Em relação a isto, ter em conta que 4 ramas são majores e tem a Claré como fundador, como padre. 4 ramas são mais recentes e tem a Claré como inspirador, protetor ou titular, que eles dão o título, nome, e também tem seus fundadores próprios. Então, existem diferenças em las condições em quanto a número de pessoas, tempo de caminho e formação. Diferenças em los recursos econômicos e contextos geográficos mais pobres onde estão presentes. Portanto, é importante conhecer e ter em conta as realidades e possibilidades de cada rama, preservando a unidade em la diversidade. Quanto à segunda pergunta, não necessita ler, vocês já têm. Em primeiro lugar, aproveitamos, nós outros, como lo hizo Miguel, esta oportunidade para expressar nosso profundo agradecimento aos missioneiros claretianos por todo o que hemos recebido como congregação desde sua fundação até hoje. Sempre nos han apoiado donde quer que estemos, Brasil, América Latina, Europa, África, Ásia, Austrália, não? Todos os continentes. E esta pergunta, que merece mais atenção por parte dos claretianos? Nós, em primeiro lugar, reconhecemos que já se hace muito, em tantas partes do mundo, vocês fazem muito e muito bem, especialmente através de Rota PIC e muitos projetos sociais, además do anúncio da palavra, que é a primeira missão da congregação e do cristiano. Lo que fraternalmente reforçamos e decimos a los missioneiros e também a nós outras mesmas é que intensifiquemos a unidade em la diversidade de cada rama. Crescamos ambas partes, compartilhando vida e missão em nossas comunidades cercanas, onde é possível, e em outros projetos também. Mantengamos os olhos abertos, os ouvidos atentos e o coração sensível à realidade de nossos irmãos e irmãs que sofrem as consequências da pandemia e unamos-nos para promover e defender a vida tão sofrida e ameaçada em tantas partes do mundo, em todas as partes em este momento. que o espírito inovador e criativo de Claré siga soplando sobre todos os missioneiros claretianos, sobre toda a família claretiana, em todas as partes do mundo, bajo la protección del Inmaculado Corazón de María, nuestra Madre, nuestra Reina, nuestra formadora, la formadora de los misioneros y de las misioneras. Gracias y un abrazo a todos ustedes y a todas que nos escuchan.
También irmã Dulcinea Ribeiro, y bendiciones ahí para el capítulo em terras africanas. E podemos dizer também em português, muito obrigado, joia. Estamos mesmo felizes por o que escutamos da vossa partilha. E vamos passar assim já para as missionárias, vamos passar para as missionárias da instituição claretiana e oferecemos a palavra a Maria Gracia Barquero, mais conhecida entre nós como Mimi. Assim que já de seguida vamos a escuchar con atención lo que nos quiere compartir. Bienvenida, Mimi.
Muchas gracias. Pues
We've got to promote the common initiatives we have of mission that we've been sharing. It's a path that we need to continue to grow in as a Claretian family, from dreaming, praying together, and programmation as a family. With regard to the second question, we want to encourage you to be rooted in your identity as religious Claretians, with all the consequences, that your mission be a communitary mission that is centered on the Word of God, and good to be limited to some ministry, and do what you're doing with joy, and to realize the dream of Claret. So we invite you to be rooted in a life of prayer, of configuration with the risen Christ, who walked with those who go on the path to Emmaus, being part of their troubles, their worries, and who nourishes them with their word, and who sits at the Eucharistic table and nourishes them with bread. And he sends them on mission. And so we ask you to take the risk of a church that goes forth, to continue to find new modes of evangelizing. We need words of encouraging words, consoling words today in the world. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nini. Thank you from our heart. We have listened to you attentively, what the missionaries of the Claretian Institute want to tell us, and we are happy and blessings to you, and are happy for the wealth or richness of this charism we share together. So we go to our Heart of Mary missionaries, Cordi Marianes. So we'll listen to the Superior General and the General team that are connected from Mexico. So greetings and welcome. Connected from Mexico, thank you. So we hug you all from the distance, especially you, our brothers Claretians in the General Chapter, in this very important moment of the church and in your history. So we came together to think and to remember the relationship we have with you and the path we have walked together with you, and we are very grateful to you, to God, first of all, for the presence of the Claretians in the world. And we think that to continue to strengthen this communion as a Claretian family, we think that the inclusion and the participation of the different branches is very important. You will take into consideration all the different resources we have is very fundamental for us. It's very necessary to continue to share our existential projects at the level of congregation, but also at the local levels. That is where the difficulty lies. With regards to mission, we want to invite you to always begin from what the reality is demanding of us. And from there, the relation and the possibility to work together in mission. I think it has been very enriching to celebrate together the common dates we have, the feats we have. We think that the material that has been shared amongst us, amongst the different branches of the Claretian family, has been very good, very enriching. And to continue to share and celebrate together, not only those who are in charge, but all the members of our different branches. Important to continue to celebrate together, taking advantage of this virtual opportunity, but also in the local communities where we can come together. And to continue to deepen the opportunity we have to celebrate our spiritual exercises as a Claretian family, the opportunity that the online methodologies offer us. The experience of the spiritual exercises are very enriching, and it's been possible through the spiritual exercises to underline the common vision we have. And now we tell you as our brothers, we invite you to pay special attention to continue to strengthen your spirituality of the world and their life experiences. And this, it coincides with what other sisters have been saying. And to pay attention to human relationships, you have to learn to work in team, to work from the synodality of the church. I think there's a need that we all have to work on. It's important, all of us, to learn to team, to trust the other person. We have to give priority. You have to give priority to formation and the prevention of the abuse of minors, which is a problem for the whole church, to continue to respond to the call to be a church that goes forth, going to the marginalized areas, I think this is part of the history of the Claretians, that you have paid attention to the figure of our founder Claret that has been inviting us to pay attention to those marginalized areas, and we have to continue to be there and continue to look out for areas where we are needed, and pay attention to community relationship, and we're called to be witnesses of the good news of the resurrection. We are very grateful for this space and the possibility to work together, and that has helped us ourselves. Working together has helped us to look at ourselves critically and to strengthen the presence of the Spirit. Our General Superior would want to say a few words to you, and thank you very much for this opportunity. Special greetings to the chapter members, especially to the General Father, who is the president of this event full of grace. We are trustful of the Holy Spirit, who does greater things than our programs and plans, and we trust in Him that every chapter member be a vehicle of the Spirit, so that the Spirit will do new things, great things, according to the needs of this congregation and of the church. Of greetings and prayer for all of you. Thank you, Hermana Maria. Thanks to you. We would like to know the name of the other sister. Saludos. Yesterday, we were continuing your practices of evangelization online. We saw that yesterday. So we move now to fly to Malabo to connect with Sister Natividad. It's not always easy, the connection, so she already sent us a message indicating the difficulty she has there. We have nobody's blocking the connection. There's also the possibility of sending us a message through the social medias. There's always the possibility to send us your message, your video recordings on WhatsApp. I think beyond what we have been listening to, so we have had messages from the different members of the Claretian family. There are many other messages that have been sent from the different Claretian family. So now, Father Matthew, over to you if you would like to say a few concluding remarks before we then say the apostolic prayer to conclude this session, and then the blessing from the Bishop, Brother Lucian. In order to share the dream that God has given us, it is important for us at this moment to listen attentively to this dream so we could dream together with God. So we place Jesus at the center. Because when we discover Jesus, our life changes, and as personal level and the congregation level. Working together is a sign of working with Jesus. So may we learn the secret of working together in this ministry of unity and diversity. In that way, we learn from the mystery of God. It's possible to be united, but recognizing the differences that we have. So, brothers and sisters, may we work together and work together as missionaries at the style of Claretian. Your contribution would help us to design a path that we could work together. Thank you. Thank you, Father Matthew. We're now concluding according to the time we planned, 1.5 hours. It's been a very fertile time, and the conversation we have had from the different Claretian families has been very essential. You know, so we want to put together, place it in the heart of our Mother Mary, and through the intercession of our Father Founder Clarete, so that we may continue on this path as a Claretian family. So in this sense, we want to listen and pray with the words of St. Anthony of Clarete, the Apostolic Prayer.
Desde NEMI, vamos a que participaram neste encontro da família claretiana, neste dia tão especial.
Thank all of the Claretian families that have participated in this encounter, and all those who have been sending their messages through the different social means. And the best way to say thanks will be to pray for your intentions, the intentions of the different Claretian branches. In 20 seconds, we pray for your intentions. And after about 20 seconds of silence, the Bishop, Lusanga, will give us his blessing. This encounter has been a blessing of the Lord. So we listen to his prayer.